Hello, everyone. I don't want this to be a channel intro where I talk about, how my channel is so cool and so awesome and all of this nonsense of, look, I did this, or look, I did that, or I don't want this to be a, here's the best clips of 2025 I had, and no, because that's not me. I know 2025 wasn't the best year for me or for most people, but I'm I don't want to be someone to do 2025 recaps. I've done those videos and I think something better to do with this channel is to give a checkpoint of where I am and how am I doing and how has this year been. And I think that will be a much more productive use of my time and everyone else's this as this isn't really a channel update, it's just a checkpoint again. I think I think that's best said as a checkpoint. So I think that's best. If it isn't about this a channel intro, if this video isn't about, the best sampling boot clips, then what is it? It's about what or who sampling boot is. And I think that's important because I haven't been. I don't know who I am. It's interesting to wake up day by day to hear people say your name but not entirely agree with that. It's weird. I know who I am, but I know that the people who call me by my name, I know that is not me. And it feels weird to say that because it feels like I'm living a double a double identity, or what is it? Yeah, a double identity or a double life or whatever, but it's weird. And I've been struggling to find one identity, or struggling with trying to find one identity that not to say that I have like a weird disorder. No. It's just I've been struggling with finding out who I am. And I think a lot of it is growing pains and coming to terms with I'm no longer a teenager. I am older and have more responsibilities that I want to accomplish and more goals that I want to accomplish. So it's weird to have that and then also feel like I'm still lost. So I've been trying to figure out that way or mindset of how do I find myself? How do I, escape whatever not mindset. How do I escape whatever hole I'm stuck in, and how do I escape from that? And I would first like to talk about the hole that I'm stuck in because valid. um, I would also okay the hole that I'm stuck in. Um, what is it? Someone in my family group told me and my sibling that most of most of our identity comes from being without our parents. And not to say like, oh yeah, my parents are bad in any way. We've gone on like really cool adventures, and that's kind of what we're most known for. We're known for doing crazy things, and it's mostly because of my parents, and I'm happy about those adventures. I love those adventures. I think that's really cool, but it's gotten to a point where when trying to grow out of that, it still feels like you're a part of the family in like in a bad way, if that makes sense. Like, oh yeah, you're still part of the family, but you're still known for this one specific thing in the family. And for me, it feels like outside of or within my family, let's go with that. Within my family, I am most known because I grew up with my parents. Well, yeah, of course. But when trying to create something, or when trying to create, your own experiences within, trying to create own experiences and then talk about it, within your family group, it always feels like you're still with your parents. It's not, oh yeah, it's just you. And I feel weird. And I want to try and escape that if I can. And it's something like living in my parents' shadow. Not in a bad way, but definitely not in a good or the best way. And I want to try and escape that if I can, because I feel that if I do, I'll find some part of myself that will be separated from my parents. And I think finding myself or being more social with other people, I think, is a great next step into doing whatever I'm doing. If I'm still deciding to do YouTube, or if I'm still deciding to, pursue social connections elsewhere. But for right now, I'm just kind of going with the flow, and I want to kind of escape that, and I want to be how do I put this into words? I want to be dependent. And it's hard to try and be dependent when everything requires you to be the most dependent, and it's kind of hard to do that, especially with what is it? Not just being hyper dependent, but also just everything is out of whack. Everything has prices where they're through the roof, and I could barely do anything. So, if I'm able to discover myself under the shadow or the wing of my parents still, then that would be very cool. I would love to do that. But for now, I'm going to make my silly YouTube videos and try and do the best that I can with some storytelling aspects, some tips or guides or something. Mainly just trying to do new things where I'm pushing myself and I'm trying to do more things. And I think that leads me into the final topic that I'll talk for 7 minutes. I want to talk about goals for 2026. Well, wait a minute. I don't want to talk about goals. I want to talk about the title of the video. Who is SamplingBoot? I don't know. That's the thing. Even when I talk to other people or some of my friends, some people still don't know who I am. And it's not to say that I didn't put myself out there or I'm not doing enough or I haven't been as active as I want to be. It's just I'm mostly known for my montages and nothing more. And I still think I am, but who knows, I could also be known for making meow videos. But to me, SamplingBoot is a wish of something I want to be. Try and think of it as Spider-Man, but for well, just try and think of it as like an ideal version of you. That's who I want SamplingBoot to be. Not necessarily the ideal or best version of me, but a version of me where I feel the most with myself. And if I can make that into something where I'm happy about or something where I feel proud of, then I would be extremely happy of the goal that I want SamplingBoot to be, the channel, the identity, the persona that I have for this. I think that wish for someone I want to be is a great first step into finding what this channel is actually about. So, with that, now we can talk about goals for 2026. So what are some goals? This has been a long time goal that I've been wanting to work on, but it's the simple goal of trying to reach 5,000 subscribers. I think it would be a great goal and a great way of figuring out how to not necessarily grind, but how to work on getting closer to something I want. And I think that's a great first step into just trying to be better overall as someone still growing or someone still trying to find themselves. Getting an online subscriber count. Yes. Very good. But I think that getting 5K would be a great way of showing that I do have passion. I do have somewhere where I do want to be. And I think that's a great way of doing that. Second is building or rebuilding my community. I have lost a lot of touch with the community of Splatoon montage makers, or just people who enjoy Splatoon montages, and I think, I think that reconnecting or rebuilding that, or just rebuilding a community at all, would be amazing. And then lastly, I want to discover who I am. I've said this all throughout the video, and I think that would be an amazing way to have, amazing goal to have in 2026. Just finding who I am with making YouTube. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and here's to a better year. See you later, everyone.